All right, Morgan. So this is going to be the second cognitive test called the contextual memory test. So I'm just kind of assess any more cognitive problems you may be having, okay? So I already got your information above. What we're going to do is I'm just going to start with some questions before we do the assessment, okay?
Okay.
So have you noticed any changes in your memory? Yes or no questions, I guess, prior to your injury until now.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And then how would you rate your memory capacity now in comparison to a year ago or just before the injury? So 0%, 25%, 50%, your memory capacity, how would you rate it
I would
now
say
in comparison to your previous
about
state?
25 to 25 or 50%. Probably more, so 25%.
25, okay. If you study 20 objects for a minute and a half, how many do you think you would be able to remember out of those 20? So between 0 and 20, if I gave you a minute and a half.
I would say at least 6.
6 now, okay. And how many do you think you would memorize before the injury occurred?
At least 12.
12, okay, so double that. How frequently do you forget things that happened the day before? Almost half the time, about 3/4 of the time, half the time, 1/4 of the time, almost never.
The day before.
So yeah, how frequently do you forget things that happened?
About
half the time, okay. And then how frequently do you forget important details? Almost all the time, 3/4 of the time, half the time?
About 3/4 of the time.
3/4, okay. And then how frequently do you forget things that people have told you? I remember we just discussed that in the occupational
Almost
profile.
all the time.
So almost all the time, okay. Lines up with what we just discussed, excellent. How frequently do you forget things that happened a few minutes ago? Almost all the time, about 3/4.
I would say in between almost all the time and about 3/4 of the time.
If you just had to choose one, almost all the time or 3/4 of the time.
What was the question again?
How frequently do you forget things that happened a few minutes ago?
Probably almost all the time.
Almost all the time. And the last question is, would you remember facts about this form a week from now? Yes or no?
Does it have to be like all facts or specific, like just some random? Like if I remember you asked me about like.
I wouldn't say like every little detail, but just like the general facts about this form.
I'd say
yes. You would remember them?
I think so.
Okay, sure. All right, so this is the restaurant version of the questionnaire, or the assessment, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some pictures of these objects. You'll have 90 seconds to study them, and then afterwards, I want you to tell me as many as you can remember. As you study the objects, think of a restaurant scene, the sequence of events that may occur when a person is in a restaurant. Let me know if you're unsure of any names of the objects, and remember to think of a restaurant scene, okay? 90 seconds. I'm going to start the timer as soon as you get it. Okay, go ahead.
Is that a napkin holder?
Yeah, I'll call that napkin holder.
That's a napkin holder. Oh, sugar. It says sugar.
Sugar holder. Yeah, we'll call it sugar holder. Okay, Morgan, you mind handing that to me? Thank you. So what I want you to do is just start naming off the items you just remembered, and I'm going to write them down whenever you're ready.
Spoon, fork, knife, plate, sugar holder, someone taking an order. I'm not sure what exactly she was doing, but the very first picture.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
A cash register, a receipt, a napkin holder. It looked like a sink with a cup getting water from the sink.
That's what you're saying.
A coffee cup. Did I say receipt?
You
Cash register.
You did, yep.
Cake, a flower vase. Did I say napkin holder?
I did get napkin holder.
Okay. Someone taking an order, a cake, flower vase, spoon, fork, knife, napkin holder. A menu, a wallet, a coat closet, I think it was, or a coat hanging up.
Yeah.
And then next to that picture with the coat hanging up is a round table and a chair.
Yeah.
I think that's all I remember.
Okay. So just kind of ask you some questions. Okay. Here we go again. I'm going to ask you, how difficult was this task for you? Easy, somewhat difficult, very difficult?
Somewhat difficult.
Somewhat difficult, okay. And then how do you feel your memory was on this task as compared to what how you would have done before the injury? No change, maybe a minimal change, moderate change?
I'd say a moderate change. I feel like I could have remembered more, or remembered it more easily.
Okay. Approximately how much did you remember? Would you say like 3/4, more than 3/4, a half?
I think I remember at least half.
Remember at least half. Okay. I just kind of want to give me an estimate on how many objects you did remember. How many do you think you remembered from that?
13.
13. And then how many objects were there in that picture?
20, I believe.
20. Okay. And when you were studying this information, just kind of what ways did you use to memorize?
I tried to remember position.
Okay.
And I used acronyms. And as I was memorizing it, I would try to memorize order and just kept repeating the order.
Okay, so rehearsal, location. Got it. So, for the sake of time, we're going to say 15 minutes pass. Okay, Morgan, so what I want you to do is just tell me what you remember from what you just saw 15 minutes ago.
Lady taking an order. Okay. Spoon, fork, knife, sugar dispenser, napkin holder, coat closet, a table with a chair, a little sink with water, coffee cup, a cash register, a receipt, a menu, cake, a flower vase, a sandwich, cake, flower vase, sandwich, menu. Did I say plate?
You did not say this the second
time.
Plate. Okay.
Maybe taking order, coat, closet, spoon, fork, knife, napkin, sugar dispenser, coffee cup, water thing. I think that might be it.
Okay. So the second time around, just kind of the same questions we asked you 15 minutes ago. How difficult was this task for you?
If in comparison to the first time?
Yeah, or just in general. Let's say, was it easy, somewhat difficult?
I felt that the second time was more difficult than the first time.
The second time was more difficult. Okay. And then, again, this question you've heard. How do you feel your memory was on this task as compared to before the injury? No change, minimal change.
There was a moderate change.
There was a moderate change. Approximately how many did you remember the second time around? More than 3/4, 3/4,
I think
half?
I remembered at least half.
Remembered at least half again, okay?
Yeah.
Again, I want you to tell me, just give me an estimate on how many pictures you memorized the second time around.
Second time around, I think 10.
10.
I think it went lower.
Okay. And then again, how many objects were there in that picture? 20. Okay, 20.
20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20. 20
And how were you able to recall those items again?
This time around, I was trying to remember what I had said the first time. So just using my memory best I could. I tried remembering my acronyms I was saying when I originally. Again.
Okay.
And just, I think that was it.
Okay. Yeah. So that is the end of this test. Good job. And we're going to move to the third and last test, okay? Any questions before we move on?
No.